welcome to another episode of the Six Figure Vet Podcast, where we showcase the success stories of Black and Brown veterans that have successfully unlaced the boots. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Six Figure Vet Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Now, y'all, let's get into today's guest, okay? We are honoring, and I have the pleasure of introducing an inspiring vet whose story exemplifies resilience, reinnovation, and relentless drive. Meet Miss Rori Ross, a 20-year Air Force veteran, retired E6 technical sergeant, and powerhouse both in and out of the uniform. During her military career, Rori served as an aircraft propulsion craftsman, maintaining engines across 3 airframes, mentoring as a propulsion maintenance instructor, and even working as a command chief executive assistant. But her journey didn't end there. After hanging up her uniform, Rori transferred her passion for fitness into a thriving second type of career. She competed in 12 national physique competitions as an amateur before earning her professional status in the International Federation of Bodybuilding in 2019. Since then, she's competed in 7 international level shows and now uses her expertise as a bodybuilding prep and posing coach, helping others achieve their fitness goals. A proud mother of 2 and soon to be first-time Grammy, Rori continues to prove that life after service can be as dynamic and fulfilling as the one in uniform. Her journey is a testament to pursuing purpose, smashing goals, and inspiring others along the way. Let's give a warm six-figure vet welcome to Rori Ross, y'all.
Hey, thank you. All right, okay.
Yeah, that's you, girl. We talking about you. Yes, so Rori, I always like to start off the episode with a mental health check-in. So how are you doing today?
I am doing good. I'm rested, enjoying the snow day here in the 757.
Yes.
No, really, mentally, I appreciate the question. Thank you. And I'm doing good. Every day has its own challenges. My motto is every day that I try and make progress.
I know that's right. And yes, I was really hoping that the snow did what it was going to do like it did last time. We supposed to got some snow and just kind of
Sprinkle to move on. Nah.
Yeah, but baby, it came.
Did.
And it said, what's up?
Thought we was playing with him, but
for real. And obviously it wasn't. So, Rori, where are you originally from? Give us the backstory of Rori before the military, before the Air Force.
Well, fun fact, I'm actually originally from Virginia. It's crazy.
Really? The Hampton Roads area? Like 757?
That's the thing. I'm from this area. I grew up in a really small town, about 3 hours straight down 58.
Okay.
It's called South Boston. It was me and had a big family and only 2 siblings, 2 brothers. I'm in the middle. But we had a big family, and yeah, it was different growing up in South Boston. It's a very small town, very rural, but if you've ever been to the 757, I kind of liken it to Portsmouth.
Okay.
Go with the bad and do what you will with the rest.
Yeah.
So
TikTok, go on TikTok before they ban it in TikTok Portsmouth.
Yes, it is.
Get you the idea of what she's talking about.
Did you see what they did at the Walmart? The self-checkouts?
Yes.
That's what it was like growing up in South Boston, Virginia. Okay. It's just wild. It's like, it doesn't look like you would see that type of stuff going on, but then once you're in town, you're kind of like, oh, okay.
It's like living in a World Star.
Yes. It's very much, it's definitely giving World Star. Definitely. And I actually used to work at a food bank in Portsmouth last year too, so it gets interesting.
It gets very interesting in Portsmouth. I live in Virginia Beach, so I stay in Virginia Beach, and I'm not from the area, so I just like moved here. But I used to come like visit all the time. I'm prior Navy, so like all my friends were here, and I would only get to stay like little bits and pieces. So I used to be like, oh, I want to move to Portsmouth, and they was like, girl, no, you don't. Stop saying it. Don't say that no more. And I'm like, all my friends there. They're like, no, baby, you need to explore, get out. And then once I like came over to Virginia Beach and Chesapeake, I was like,
yes. And I had a lot of friends that I ended up going based off of friends' recommendations, and that's how I found Chesapeake. So thank God for friends that recommend.
thank God for friends, okay, that will check you
Yes.
and save you.
But yeah, no, it's been a fun move. I really love Chesapeake, that's for sure. In comparison to what I grew up with, I think growing up, I definitely wanted to have more people around me, more
Yes.
opportunities to do stuff, and that's kind of like the little life I created here.
I love that. How long have you been here?
So I moved here. I'm coming up on 5 years since I've
Wow.
in this house. Yeah, I moved in
Wow.
2015. So
Yeah. It literally, like, if you coming up on
retirement
5 years, you literally moved during COVID.
Actually, so my official retirement date was 1 January of 2020.
Yeah, you think you finna get out and
Psych. Nope. It's funny. I went on my first getaway after retirement with my best friend. We both had did the same job, and we were just like, finally, we're both out. We'll get a break away, and nobody really has to worry about what they're going back to. We just so happened at Walmart while we were in Ocean City, and the shelves were cleared, and we were just like, "Oh, this is real.
yeah,
Like, we need to go home."
this is Armageddon.
Okay, they bugging. Yeah, they was wilding in Delaware and Maryland.
Yeah, it was really bad. So what made you want to join the military in the first place? And how did you have the sense enough to join the Air Force? Because we be getting got, okay? The Army and the Marines and the Navy be like, I don't know how they be getting this. So how were you able to secure
I
the Air
got
Force?
very lucky in that selection. I remember my father took me out for driving one day, and he was like, "Well, you can't really swim like that, so can't join the Navy, and you ain't really one for guns, so the Army's out the question." And I was talking to this lady at work about the Air Force, and I think it'll be a good idea.
Shout out to Pops.
I was like, okay. And then found out that the lady he wanted me to talk to was actually one of my teachers at school. He worked with her husband and Miss Virginia, and and there was also my mother's supervisor at work, Mr. Pennick. They would not let up. They would not. They were just like, don't even look nowhere else. Did you qualify? Did you pass the ASVAB? That's it. Then don't. Nothing else even matters.
So did they not push school?
No, honestly, nobody was really pushing school. I definitely would have went. I ran track in high school, so it was like my dream to please let somebody say they want me to run for
Yeah, pick
pick me. But that never came up. And as the senior year started to roll by, like, yeah. And the other thing is I was determined to leave home.
Yeah.
It was like, and you've heard the stories on the show before, on other interviews. I know I heard people tell you about the typical unfortunate childhood. And yeah, I just wasn't staying.
Yeah.
So finally found my recruiter. Second time around, I got in good with the recruiter and stayed that way. But honestly, what happened the first time is I was a little too honest, and I learned a lesson. And I cried for days. They were asking.
We're not telling you to lie. That's not what we're saying.
Just saying some medical stuff, let them find it on their own.
Let them look. Let them look.
So the first time they called me, I came forward with information and I learned a lesson. And the second recruiter I talked to explained further, and I kept my lips closed. And I was able to pass all physicals. I did enter on a waiver. Now, once they started to really show me the opportunities that I was going to get in the Air Force, that was it. They offered me 6 years and $6,000 to sign.
I know that's right.
Give me my money
right now. And then this was
me my coin.
What year was it? $6,000 at that time was a lot of money.
This might have been in like 99. Like 99 or something. But
like the 99 after 2000, like juvenile.
That's the one. That's the one. Yes, 99 2000s. Yes, I was coming out on top. Girl, I thought I was balling with that $6,000 when I got to my first base.
Listen, I understand.
Bought a futon for my dorm room and everything.
What's up, baby? You was fancy and schmancy.
Right? And anybody that ever lived in any kind of dorm, barrack, anything, you get it.
You understand, baby? Because we got twin beds and don't have a boo, because both of y'all in this twin bed.
Not you trying to get a bed from one of the empty rooms so y'all can put it together and have a queen.
Lord, thank you for growth.
Growth, yes.
So how was it working in a male-dominant MOS or rate, like aircraft propulsion craftsman? How was that?
We said this is a safe space, right?
This is a safe space for a Black veteran.
Hell, most days I genuinely, like, I don't ever want to make it seem like I didn't enjoy myself. I really did love it. There are some people that are still some of my closest friends, so definitely have your good days. But how was it for a 18-year-old girl coming out of, like,
Black girl
coming from a predominantly Black area, and they dropped me in Altus, Oklahoma. And fun fact, I was
what do they got at Altus, Oklahoma?
A lot of C-17s, airplanes. That's about, yeah. Oklahoma was a time. Boy, there was a lot of trouble to be had because there is nothing in Oklahoma.
There's nothing to do.
Nothing. But yeah, no, it was a culture shock for sure. Coming into the career field, learned how to grow some thick skin and come up quick comebacks. I mean, honestly, that's second nature for some of us. So I learned, where to insert when needed.
Yes.
Quickly.
So how did you navigate those spaces? Like being in this, going through. So I know other Black women that are veterans or that are still in the military that have to navigate predominantly male heavy spaces. And they open up and they talk to me about the microaggressions, the good old boys club. Once you finally got some rank on you, how was it? Or how did it become different?
Okay, so
or did it become a different fight?
It's the same fight. It was the exact same fight. I unfortunately have to tell you that it was the exact same fight. And it's funny that you even put it that way, because I remember I was like we had gotten in. I finally had a younger Black girl that was working with me, somebody for me to mentor. It was a few younger Black kids. And I remember one of the good guys asking me, why you even care? He was like, what is we doing this for? And I remember looking at him, I said, because one day I'm going to have enough stripes where they're not going to have a choice. They're going to have to do what I say. And close to retirement, I kind of looked down at my sleeves, and I was like, one, they're fighting me on getting my stripes. And I still got more, and they still don't want to do what I say.
Yeah.
But I was thankful that I was able to at least I genuinely can't tell you where it came from. People ask me where, like, the resilience and things came from. Unfortunately, I think it's a second nature for us that we don't know we possess.
Oh, talk about it.
We have to possess it. Because to ask me, like, how did I navigate that space? Honestly, that's a difficult question for me to answer, because I didn't even learn I was navigating it until after I left it.
Yeah.
It's like,
dang, I got through all that.
Yes, you know how you're moving through the spaces. I knew how to, trust me, like, I knew how to come in a room and just, y'all not going to see me shake.
Yeah.
I got to say about these airplanes and I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
I knew how I was going in there, and I was always confident with whatever answers I gave them, but I didn't know how much of myself wasn't present for a lot of things for that reason, because we walk around so guarded, we walk around so shielded, and it's because we don't have the security or the safety to take a vulnerable moment. I mean,
or the space, like, where is it space for us to do that at?
In fact, I showed up first day of work. I flew into Dallas one day. They got me settled into my dorm room. That was a Sunday. Monday morning, I meet with my mentor still to this day, Brian DeBond. Walks me into a hangar. We immediately walk up to the elevator and get on with another senior NCO. And Black guy. Brian looks over, introduces me. He said, Rory, this is one of our section chiefs. I said, hey, how you doing? His first question to me was, so why didn't you go to medical or something? Oh, introduction, sir.
Wait, why didn't you
go to medical or something? And this is the Rory I stood 10 toes down with for the rest of my career. My response was, why didn't you join medical? That's a valid question, isn't it?
It would have added a little extra, like, nigga.
I mean, because the way it was in there,
Lord, I know that's not like you, but that's what I would have said back in the day.
it was just, some of the stuff was alarming. Like, there's honestly, I tell a lot of people some of the stuff that I've experienced, and they're like, oh, well, I mean, it couldn't have been that bad. Or they wonder why I hesitate when they ask, how bad was it? And it's like, you ever showed up to work on the first day and people walked you around a hanger to see what you could pick up? Or said, we thought it was going to be your husband.
What? And you know what's crazy? You know, the most frustrating thing about microaggressions is that we've defined it in such a way, yes, it's acknowledging it, but it's still giving grace to the people that's doing the microaggression. It's like, oh, but they didn't know.
Yeah,
yes, you did. How would you feel? It's simple as that.
Exactly.
Like, how would you feel? That's one thing I really, really, really think that we should look into redefining about microaggressions. Is like, I feel like it gives too much space for slack for the people that's doing the aggression.
100% agree. I was definitely known to book whenever necessary. So, like, the microaggressions for me, unfortunately, and some of my career does reflect, did not go unnoticed or unanswered. So
unanswered, yeah.
Rarely did they go unanswered. I always responded in how I needed to. Some of those men were a handful. The ones that were blessings and helpful in my life, hands down, the best dudes, had nothing but fun with them.
Yes. So when you was that your plan? Like, I'm doing 20 and then y'all can see me on my way out? Or did you aspire to do more than 20 at one point in time?
Never more than 20.
It never gave more than 20.
Never.
It never gave that.
Who needs extra credit? Maybe I passed the first time. So now, I mean, and I think that speaks from the way I did. I did my retirement the first day I was eligible. The very first day I was eligible.
Not you had a calendar of like
19 years, 1 month. 19 years, 1 FaceTime my best friend and everything. But I don't think that I ever went into it saying I'm going to do 20.
Mm-hmm.
I think that because I didn't really have a plan when I did it. I just really just wanted to get away. It was really just let's see what happens. When I made it past that first 6 years and it came time for me to do my first enlistment, I was already had my oldest daughter by then, and I was married, and it seems like everything was going great in my career. Like, I was working slowly in some areas, but I was working my way up. So why not at least shoot for 10?
Yeah.
And decide at the halfway point, And there was a moment when I did get to that halfway point where again, the environment made me question whether I wanted to do that for 20 years. But I had sat down and had a real conversation with myself and realized I hadn't done what I needed to do.
That's real.
I didn't have, at that point, it ain't no, well, you ain't got to deal with this. No, unfortunately, you would have walk away if you had did X, Y, and Z, and you didn't.
And you didn't.
Guess what?
And that is a hard reality to face. I faced that exact same conversation with myself after my first enlistment. I was ready to go.
See?
I was so ready, like,
I understand that go.
Bye, wenches. I'm out of here. And then I looked at my bank account and I looked at my educational credits. And then I looked at my debt.
The debt. I hadn't stepped foot in anybody's classroom.
Not a class, not a credit, not a certification.
Hadn't even thought about it. Nothing.
I was prepared to work at Walmart.
I made a change at 10 years.
Listen, because it'll shock you, because it's like, first you're like, okay, I'm going to do this for this reason. And then you get in and then you like, okay, I don't have to deal with this. I can get out. because that first 4 years you feel trapped. Like, yo, if I don't go to work, I really go to jail. Like, that's a thing. And so when you have the opportunity to cut ties and leave, and you realize you might not go to jail, but you're walking into a really bad life if you decide to get out, you still feel trapped.
Yes, very much so. And I think, especially at my 10-year mark, I was kind of really torn because that's when I was at the height of a lot. That was a duty station I was at where I took all my deployments. So it was like that on top of the deployments. And by 10 years, I was having my second kid or had just had her. And I was just like, we had just bought a house. And it
Oh,
was,
yeah. No, I can't
wanted
get
to
out.
run. I wanted to run so trust like everything in me. I didn't have a heart. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It's too much. Like I'm sick of deploying. Girl, I had been to Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan 3 times at that point, and I was like, I'm over it. I don't want to see these people no more.
I'm so happy that you brought this up, though. I'm so happy that you brought up the real conversation that you had with yourself, because I want you to explain what that shift looked like. Once you sat down and said, all right, Rory, you ain't in a position to leave. You got too much responsibility on your back at this point. But eventually you knew you had to go. So what shifted? What did you start doing different to prepare yourself?
Honestly, like for real, I grew up. I matured a lot when it came to how I was handling my career. I think that was a point when it came career wise. That was a point that I realized people were right that you have to help yourself.
Yeah.
So I started paying more attention to what I needed to accomplish. You know what I mean? To make myself look better. Like that's when I started pushing harder for more qualifications at work. There was stuff that was like coming to me with time, but when I first got to that duty station, I was like really like show off, like, oh, I knew, because I came from a new airframe to an old airframe. So there were a lot of tricks that I knew that some people didn't know.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of that along the way. At 10 years, I brought all that back. Like, nah, let me show y'all, because I'm really not one to be played with. Like, I'm actually really good at this, and I'm tired of playing games. So I definitely shifted my maturity at work and my accountability. And actually, that's when I started learning how to be a leader, for sure. As far as preparation for myself, that's when the plan started being laid out. Like everything, even if it was just career related, everything was going to benefit me when I left.
Yeah.
Nothing like special duty came up. That's when I became an instructor. That's going to benefit me because I'm about to get a whole degree on them.
Yeah.
And nobody can tell me what degree I have to get.
Nope.
I get to choose. And that's what I started doing. School still didn't even pan out the way I wanted to, but still, that was the day. Like, since then, I did not let up all the way to the end.
The 12-week year, you said accountability. And then in this book, it defines accountability as ownership. Like you're taking ownership of your decisions. You're taking ownership of your life. You're taking ownership of the outcome that you place yourself in. And I think that more people should take like accountability. Accountability is not just like, okay, I own my mistake. Because I think we look at accountability as like the effect. Like, okay, let me like damage control almost.
Yes, it's
like, no, you can be proactive in accountability.
Very. And that's one of the pieces of advice that I do enjoy giving to younger airmen, because I'll break it down so far as to, like, yes, for my career, I needed to, annual reviews come around. I'm not sure how the Navy does it, but we all have the volunteer stuff that you're supposed to do and all the after hour stuff. Okay, yeah. So, maybe if I volunteer for something, I'm going to use this. It's going to be one, something I want to be a part of, and two, something I'm going to use later. I was on so many Black History Month committees, baby, and I knew half of them people from church.
I know that's right.
But who do you think is going to help me look for a job when I leave here?
Right.
Who's going to be the person who writes me letters of recommendation?
Who? Yep.
So those, like, I network. I use it. I highly recommend, especially for the way that the military is transitioning with retirement plans, and like people don't really have the longevity like they had from my age group. Sounds terrible. Yeah, that way.
We're right there together, sis.
Yeah,
Us millennials. You're still a millennial.
Exactly. But like they don't have that, so I highly, highly, highly encourage them. I'm not saying that the military can't be your plan A, but networking while you're there, because for sure it has to come to an end.
It has to.
One day. It has
Yeah.
to do it. It has to. And I also, unfortunately, watched too many people go before me that did not have that plan. And
Yeah.
you do not want to see that side. You don't want to see that side.
And that's segueing into, this next question I have for you. I know that a lot of veterans, I'm a certified veterans transition coach. And and this is not even exaggerating the numbers, about 97 to 98% of the clients that I have had in the past before went through some type of struggle with their mental health, whether it was anxiety, depression, imposter syndrome, packing trauma that they stored up for 40 to 20 years.
Part, not just from your military career. You also stored up all of that stuff that you had at 18, packed it in because the military ain't gonna let you.
Because they're not going to let you address it.
You check them feelings at the door.
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing to do with my airplane.
Nope.
Unfortunately, I'm guilty of saying that to people myself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bad day. I know, Pookie, but we got like a lot of
chin up, chest out.
We got a lot of airplanes that are broken. We about to be here for 12 hours, babe. Pull it together. But that's what you have to do. And following all of that, eventually it's too much.
Yeah.
Eventually. So I chuckled when you were saying that because I thought of something you said on one of your previous episodes. Y'all better stop playing and go talk to that lady.
Talk to the lady.
Y'all call that lady because I'm taking now. I said forget the Air Force and I called that lady while I was still active duty.
Period. That's the best time to call her.
That is
get on record.
That is my advice to everybody. If you haven't already started going by the time you decide to either exit the military or retire, whichever one your path is, y'all better talk to that lady before you go. If not to help you financially down the road, I'm telling you, it's something to be said about how it feels when I call it the silence was too loud.
Ooh.
Yeah. It get real quiet. And remember, I retired during quarantine, so the world is closed down. Too.
You get out to go into isolation.
Yeah. Complete isolation. Now, with that being said, I caught up on a lot of naps. A lot of naps.
Rori, please.
It was good. Everybody else was mad, and I was like, girl, I'm going to back to sleep. Yeah.
Not you catching up on naps. Listen, and as you should have, because as a military member, baby, we gonna find a place to sleep. I don't care. It might be on top of a bomb. We're going to find a place to sleep.
I have watched friends rig hammocks across fire bottles on the back of an airplane, oxygen bottles on the back of an airplane. Babe, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. And we always got a sleeping bag somewhere anyway.
A jacket. I don't even need a sleeping bag, baby. Give me the, I'm about to take this parka off.
All I was about to say, all I need is my Gore-Tex and then a skull cap. The Gore-Tex zip up to here and the skull cap pull all the way down. This is all I need.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
That's a good 2-3 hours right there.
Very much so. So you have transitioned out of the military, you're in COVID, you're dealing with, unpacking all this unresolved trauma. Where did bodybuilding come into play?
Well, fortunately, bodybuilding was actually already in place. So I retired in 2019, but I had did my first bodybuilding competition while I was still active duty. That was in 16. I'm not bad. March 17th, 2016 was my first show.
Okay.
So I had a few years under my belt by the time I transitioned, and I had definitely already gotten to that point where I knew that the gym was a good outlet for me. So at least coming into dealing with this transition, I had some outlet. I had something to hold on, and I already had my therapy in place. So I did walk into it, as far as that goes, with a pretty good game plan in place. Bodybuilding just so happened to give me a little bit more joy. Definitely added a social aspect that I completely lost once I did the military. So I definitely had all of that to fall back onto. Because not knowing anybody here in Virginia, that was the thing. I didn't really know anybody down here.
Yeah. So what made you choose Virginia?
Me and my daughters just wanted to make sure we had 4 seasons. and I wanted to be near.
That's fair.
And I definitely wanted to be near the beach, but for her, because it was just my youngest daughter that came down with me. Um, I don't know how much you know about South Jersey area.
So I used to live in Maryland.
Okay, so you know the differences. All right, so just like
Yeah.
Maryland got their city part, and then there's Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, Maryland.
Jersey is the same way. There's, North Jersey, Manhattan, all of the stuff that everybody like to go see. And then there's South Jersey.
Then there's South Jersey.
Yeah.
That's like Camden.
Dang, got it. That's the one. Yeah. So, like,
My Camden people, listen.
we love y'all.
You gonna get me beat up by Portsmouth,
I was going to
Camden.
say, we love y'all, though. We love y'all. It's a beautiful aquarium. It's a beautiful aquarium.
Nice attraction.
That area out there is like, it takes you forever to get to anything. And we were sick of everything being so spread out. So for us,
Yes.
like the best thing we want right now is like convenience. I have so many things like within 5 miles of my home. Like, and these were the parameters I gave my realtor. I'm like, it's just me and my daughter. I want the safety. I want this. These need to be local. I want this nearby. I need food, hospital. And she was like, I got a spot for you.
Damn.
That's how I'm telling you, a lot of things I do. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what happens.
I love that. I'm the same way. Listen, don't ask why I'm in Virginia, but because I can't tell you, I still don't know. But I had the same situation happen in Maryland. I lived in South Maryland. So people be like, oh, Maryland, DC, Baltimore. I lived in St. Mary's County, which is like an hour and a half away from Metro.
Mm-hmm. People don't realize
DMV.
how big these states are. And especially if you talk to your friends that are like out on the West Coast or from the Midwest or something, they don't realize how all of this just kind of run together, but it's not on top of each other.
It's not on top of each other. Like any type of excitement, I'm driving an hour and a half to get to the city.
That was South Jersey. 45 minutes to get into Philly. And I'm sorry, like, don't drink and drive anyway. Like, go out and have a good time, and I got to drive 45, 50 minutes to get back to the house.
How? And I'm not Ubering that far.
At all.
I'm not doing that. That's out of the question.
Uber, and I know why they take those trips. You're not about to get me.
Is it 62 cents? Keep it.
Keep it.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that either. So competing as a bodybuilding prep and posing coach, how do you help the women or men that come to you to get a better relationship with their bodies? What is your target audience actually when it comes to clients?
My target audience is usually, so it depends on what the person's goal is. I truly do enjoy helping people specifically prep for a show. It takes a certain level of.
So these people are already in shape.
So honestly, I have a few clients. Actually, I wish I would have shared some of my clients before and after pictures with you. I had some that just came straight in and like, nah, bro, like I need to figure something out. I had one girl, we're actually still really good friends. We worked together for, I want to say it was 4 months, and then we started getting ready for her show. But the plan all along was to do a bodybuilding show. And she's actually she's switched to a more muscular division, is coming back for a comeback season. Like it's completely changed her whole life. So people like that, I love working with. I've worked with typically women. I've worked with some people in their 20s. Typically, it's like it's target for me, and it's easier because of being able to understand each other's mental a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. I don't got nothing in common with a 22-year-old. Baby, what we gonna talk about?
And your lack of motivation is frustrating. No.
Extremely. Baby, I came from the hustle and bustle and the struggle.
Yeah, so I actually have a younger client too, and it's just like, I know she felt like she was getting on my nerves so bad when I cut her carbs. She's a thicker black girl, and I was like, we gotta be for real with this. And I cut her carbs down really low, and she called me, and oh my God, I felt so bad for her. My heart was breaking in Walmart, but at the end of that conversation, I was like, so. She was like, so can I eat? Nah, like, I'm sorry.
Compassion, but I do not care.
I don't. I've had clients ask me, well, I'm going out of town. I had a girl tell me, I think she went to Costa Rica or Brazil. Something like that. But they had like an Airbnb. And I was like, okay, cool. So you ain't got to miss no milk. She was like, but we're going to be there for like a week and a half. All right, cool. Check in pictures that Sunday though while you're there.
So how important is your body? So bodybuilding is pretty much body recomp, right?
I'm yes, it's mad science is what I call it, to be honest with you, because you dibble and dabble with everything. And it varies so much from person to person of how to prepare someone for a show. Yeah, it's really hard for a lot of people to like really dial it in. But recomp is probably the one thing that I would feel safe comparing it to for sure.
How big of a um I heard it just made me super curious when you said you cut her carbs. So when you see these bodybuilders or you see these women that go from having like this regular female physique to like being super toned up, super cut and like super defined legs and arms, what is their diet like in order to achieve that physique?
Lean, and they are more than likely, if they're that lean, because it's definitely different levels to it. If you're talking about somebody that is honest to God stage ready, where the skin gets really thin and like you can see every shape of the muscle.
That's what that be? Your skin has to go through a thinning process?
Well, it's not even that. It's not like your skin.
You turn the folks into snakes, Rory?
Is that we're taking away all of the layers. Like when you look at a person, you're looking at the skin and a little fat and a little water and not as much muscle. Honestly, that's the only difference for most people is that the lack of muscle is there. And if they are to the point where there's nothing in between their skin and their muscle, that's extreme calorie deficit. And I hope that their show is within a couple of days. But in order to get to the point where, you just got a nice shape to your arm and everything is toned, that's just a balanced diet. It is a clean, balanced diet, though. And that's the hard part for it. Like, I mean, in my past, what I have seen is the majority of individuals love their sauces and their cheeses and things like that. And they can keep a clean diet until it comes to adding in the little things like that. And that's where
I looked at the back of a ranch bottle the other day. I was like 130 calories for a tablespoon. Is diabolical. What is y'all putting in this?
That's how when I first started bodybuilding, I had a cousin who was in the Navy. She was stationed out here too. And she had started on a few shows. So I was like, I just watched her grow. We would talk a little bit about diet. But for myself, I was like, I didn't want to really dive in head first. So I was just kind of like, I'm going to start reading the labels at first. Like, I worked out a lot, but I did CrossFit at the time. And like back then, my mentality was, I work out so I can eat what I want. Because I knew my metabolism. So I was just stay in the gym so I could keep doing whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
And then when I thought about bodybuilding, I'm like, all right, I gotta
girl math.
read the, because a rotisserie chicken after one workout at CrossFit is nothing. With a half, I would, honest to God, go to the commissary and get a rotisserie chicken and a loaf of bread, and go.
Yeah, you is from Royal Virginia.
To my classroom and watch my students change parts on the engine with my loaf of bread and my rotisserie chicken. That was days after CrossFit. But then bodybuilding, made me a little bit more conscious, more aware. I started reading the labels, broke my heart. I think the first time I ever read like how many servings I was really supposed to get out of a carton of ice cream.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
That will break your heart.
Sad.
Or a bowl of cereal. Now I'm really being intentional about like counting my calories because I'm really good at working out, but I can't achieve the body I want, and it's like it's in the kitchen. So this morning I'm in the kitchen with a cup measuring out my cereal, like, okay, this 160 calories. I can't go over because I only got this amount of calories.
Yes. So it's funny because it's like, even with bodybuilding, like the way we will watch them calories, and it's just like, yeah, now you're watching it. You don't want to go too low. Man, look, I'm trying to squeeze in every last one I can get throughout the entire day. When I think the most I've gotten up to is eating at 4 meals a day. I want to say 3 meals a day at least. All have 5 ounces of potatoes in them and 5 ounces of chicken. That's 15 ounces of chicken, 15 ounces of rice or potatoes. And that's just 3 of the 6 meals that I need to intake before I go to sleep.
So what's your calorie count?
You know what?
Go with doing
I'm gonna
it.
go ahead and say it's probably gonna be some bodybuilders that will listen to this episode and really, 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 really not like me.
Rory, come on.
Yeah. So, it's funny. One of the other pros found out what I ate the night before a bodybuilding show, and her and my coach's wife started calling me the pizza princess. So I'm eating a large pizza or a medium pizza the night before a show.
That don't sound
I've
right.
been eating.
I
So,
be hearing bodybuilders like try to starve themselves out practically
the thing is,
before their shows.
one, I think that's a terrible method because I haven't seen anybody where that genuinely looks good on yet. Maybe the day of the show, I'm not going to give somebody food, but I'm not starving you leading into the show. Now, you might feel like you're being starved because you're not eating what you want to eat, but you're not really starved.
I mean, you starving, but
Like, you
it's like
hungry
not
or whatever.
malnutrition
Like,
starving.
you hungry or whatever, but you're not like starving. I definitely got some girls that's going to fight me over some words like that. They're like, no, I be hungry. Because I do have some friends the night of the show. They're like eating chicken and rice cakes. That's it. Or they get to rock out on rice cakes like the whole day of the show. And I'm just sitting there like, I had 3 waffles and 2 slices of bacon this morning. And had some medium pizza last night.
Not you be telling these people.
But no, I promise you I have never shared this. You are getting an exclusive. You are getting an exclusive. It is definitely, that's why I say it is like, it's mad science. Because the difference between like when my coach preps for me and when he preps for other women on my team is just so polar opposites. It's so polar opposites. And you genuinely have to just understand. It's really important in bodybuilding, not just to understand how the body works, not all this bro science that everybody's out there. Like, don't go to your coach telling them what you need.
Yeah.
That type of thing. So it's just like so many people are convinced that they understand how it works. What really helps a person be successful in bodybuilding is learning how their body works.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be different. And you might you might be one of those people that is only eating chicken and spinach the week of the show, but you eat chicken and spinach the week of the show so you can eat pancakes the morning.
I like that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Me personally, those are my techniques. I don't think I've ever put somebody on stage and I didn't give them some kind of carbs the night before. I know one of the big myths is dehydrating yourself too. They might hate me, but my clients are drinking like 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons of water the day before a show. Now, they can't have any after like 6, 7 o'clock at night. But you just drank 1.5 gallons of water between 8 o'clock this morning when you woke up and 6 o'clock this evening. You don't need no more.
Yeah. You probably don't even want to look at no more water.
Exactly. So it's just like there's ways to manipulate the body without going to some of the extremes that people might think we do.
These sound pretty extreme, Rory.
Yeah, they are extreme, but also I'm only doing it for a day. It's not like I don't.
Yeah, it's not okay, and I think that's the difference. Like
living our lives like that. We're not living our lives where it was like you see bodybuilders and you see them getting ready for a show. Let it be that. Let it be them getting ready for a show. If you want to judge, if you want to look like that person, go see what they look like 2 weeks, 3 weeks after the show. Their hormones have leveled back out.
your hormones be at level during this prep time. How long is this prep time?
Hey, your hormones be out of whack, girl. Especially a woman. Honestly, that is the secret to getting a woman ready. I'm fully convinced. If you can't figure out her hormonal phases, you're not gonna be able to get that girl ready to be on stage. Unless you just got that lucky with a cookie cutter diet or something that worked like out the gate. I've never seen somebody like you. I'm sorry. Estrogen,
so what is this prep time? What is this time when you say leading up to a show, getting ready for a show? How long are you in this phase of prepping or getting prepared, or where you have people hate you? Is really what I want to ask.
So, all right. So total average people do about 16 to 20 weeks to get ready for a show. 4 to 5 months. You don't really start hating your coach until 2 months from the show. That first 4 months, yes, like you're doing a lot of work, but you're seeing so much change. Like that's where you make the big jumps anyway. And then by the time you get down to those last 2 months, it's like you look pretty close to on point by then, so you don't even care anymore.
Yeah,
as much. But I'll say I've had one coach where that last week was just I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. She had cut my carbs. I thought I was turning into a whole nother person. I was so mean, so very mean. I thought I was gonna get kicked out of the pharmacy on base. snapping at people, being hangry. Like, I went back the next day and looked at myself on my TikTok, or yeah, it was TikTok. No, Snapchat I had made with friends.
Yes.
Girl. And I was like, who is she? Girl. And I'm just sitting there the next morning eating oatmeal like, that's tragic. That's tragic. Like, I had made one where I was like, I want a biscuit. Fuck this. But it was like that good for a week. So, I mean, I'm going to be real with you. Yes, it does suck. But it is a very rewarding sport for the right person.
Yes.
I think it's very individual.
It sounds like it. And I think that it's just amazing the discipline that comes from it, especially if you like challenging yourself. I think that it probably builds a stupid amount of discipline.
A stupid amount of discipline. And I think the aftermath of that the discipline was confidence.
The confidence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it was like, after you tell yourself you can so many times, trust me, you're not going to have to say it for very long.
Yeah. You just do.
Shows you just do it. Exactly. You're just doing it after.
Rori, how are you managing the emotional weight of being a mother, a soon-to-be grandmother? After this conversation, it's like soon-to-be what?
Soon-to-be.
A retired veteran and still like pursuing such a demanding profession and finding your footing as a civilian, like as a veteran.
Definitely still working on finding the footing as a civilian, and they weird. It gets strange in these streets, definitely when you've been used to the military for 20 years.
Very.
But it has been difficult, but leaning into my family and depending on my support system, it has been key for me.
Yeah.
It seems like this is all my goals and everything, but in all honesty, like, I always consult with my daughters, especially even with the bodybuilding stuff. They weren't big fans of it when it first started. Well, it wasn't even that. Oh, no, see, my babies love my time.
I know that's right.
They love my time.
I know that's right.
I got some leeches.
And you was already in the military. So it's like, girl, you finna do what?
Exactly. So picture this. I was active duty. I had been divorced for a year and a half at this point, and I was a full-time caregiver for my mother. My mother actually lived with me and my ex-husband, and then she suffered a stroke. So I became her caregiver as well as my two children. And
while on active duty?
Wow. Yes. Yeah. I was doing that while on active duty. And I had a older gentleman at the gym kept saying something to me about working out. And like I said, I had my cousin and a friend of mine that were in bodybuilding. And they just kept saying it was for them. Because I asked the why. And everybody's like, because it's for me. Because it's for me. And like, when I stood back, I was like, no, I genuinely, I need something.
Yeah.
For me.
That's a lot.
Nobody else. Like, if I don't, I think that's what's kept the discipline too, is like, one thing I always tell myself is what's meant for me is for me.
Yeah. It
cannot be taken away. And if for any reason I don't receive something, it's not going to be because I did it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So when I decided I wanted to get on a bodybuilding stage, I had made a promise to myself, and I wasn't going to let me get in my way.
I love that.
I shifted my life around and I made room for it. And eventually my girls are kind of like, we don't like that.
Yeah, because girl, I time it.
Like, now before you was going to the gym like 3-4 days a week. Now I'm in the gym 6 days a week. Even on the 6th day, it may not be like a long day, but it's at least cardio. 7th day, I might go again because I got bored or felt like I missed something the day before, you know? But I really poured myself into it. And it was like, I ate those meals, did not veer from the plan. I didn't let up off the gas at all. And they were just kind of like, we don't know what to do with this. And I sat them down and had a long talk with them and explained to them, like, you have your friends, you have your time. I'm not crazy. You ain't paying attention to what that lady at school said all day.
Right.
You're with your friends, you're spending time with people. I don't get to do that. This is mine. And after we had that conversation, they've been 100% supportive. When things do get heavy and it's a lot to juggle in between them and like even say the food for bodybuilding, my youngest daughter, she like, girl, you want to just do crab potatoes? I'll eat some chicken. She used to eat more hard-boiled. My youngest daughter used to eat more of my hard-boiled eggs than I ever did. She used to rip into them. Those are my, I got my oldest daughter. She does makeup and things for when I used to have all the photo shoots back in the day. And then the youngest, that's my itinerary.
Oh,
She
that's right.
lets me do the packing and the organizing when it's time to get ready to go. But like they are active parts of it. So it does make it a little bit easier. I'm not doing it on my own,
Yes.
it helps a lot.
So what do you have coming up? What can we expect from Miss Rori Ross here in the future?
In the future, I'm going to keep embracing this retired life. I'm going to continue to I want to take advantage of some more opportunities that I have as far as training that I can see through all of our veteran connections.
Yes, yes, yes.
So hopefully you will see me possibly entering back into the aeronautical field in some aspect. I do have at least want to work on certifications for that. So hopefully we'll see that soon. But as far as bodybuilding, right now, I have cut back on a lot of stuff. I had a lot going on and wanted to take some time for myself. Y'all, 43 is not 23. I'm just saying.
Really? That's pressing.
It ain't even 33.
Whoa! Whoa there now.
It ain't. And perimenopause is real. So no, I just wanted to.
I was hoping they've been lying all
They're
this
not.
time.
They're really not. The ones before us have done us dirty because they should have informed us a lot better.
Why? Older generation. What is they called before the millennials?
No, because that's really me. That's Gen Xers. It's them other ones. The ones.
No, wait. If you were born in 80 what?
81. So I'm right.
You are millennial.
I was raised like a Gen Xer. I didn't have parents that was gonna really raise a millennial. Because I can even tell you now, like 80. My brother was born in 83. Nah, he might have been the millennial, but me, no.
It wasn't so much.
I was growing up in a big family. I was like the baby of teenagers, so that's where I got groped in. Yeah,
Yeah. But I'm still, so we're going to put you in that category. Listen, y'all did a terrible job at prepping us.
Horrible. We're so misinformed.
0 out of 10.
So with that being said, I gave myself a little grace over the last year.
As you deserve.
Took some time to work on some medical things that needed to be diagnosis that I needed. Learn, baby, I am a bodybuilding yoga at this point. I'm loving my stretching and just finding other modalities of fitness has been fun for the last year. But you will see me back on stage one day.
We are excited. We are excited. Tell the people they can reach you at.
You can find me on the beautiful Instagram. That is the one that I'm the most active on at the diva_Ri. R-I. That is me.
We love it. We love it. Well, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your service first and foremost. Thank you for breaking barriers. Thank you for showing up in spaces where we are underrepresented and sometimes overlooked, especially in the Air Force community, and for helping beautiful women get their confidence back.
Come on, because we need bodies. Come on, body. Because I'm
right.
You like,
even if they hate you for a little while, it's okay.
Yourself at your best, where you just like, no, I got this.
Right. Exactly.
That's how we need. All of us just need a little glimpse.
I agree. Well, this has been another episode of the Six Figure Vet podcast, where we showcase the success stories of Black and brown veterans that have successfully unlaced the boots. The Six Figure Vet is out.